If you come across videos of content creators on this app or other apps who are screaming and telling you that the federal government is only issuing those who have been totally devastated by Hurricane Helene, they're only giving those individuals $750. Those content creators are either ignorant and misinformed, or two, they are purposely misinforming you. The way that our government works is that Congress, which is the House and the Senate, controls the purse strings. Nothing gets approved without the approval of Congress, which is the House and the Senate. Before Hurricane Helene hit, Congress met and denied the request of FEMA for additional funding. The $750 that people are talking about is an initial payment. It's an automatic approval, unless you owe the federal government in some way, shape, or form. The $750 is to meet your immediate needs: groceries, gas, clothing. There are additional programs through FEMA that you must apply for to help you with other needs. I grew up in Florida. For the first 30 years of my life, I had to deal with FEMA because of hurricane damage that me and my family sustained as residents of South Florida. There is additional funding available through FEMA through other types of programs. Funding is available for those who have sustained major damage to their properties, need to relocate for a long period of time. But because of Republican congressmen and women, those funds are being quickly depleted because those representatives refused to provide additional funding. These are all of the House representatives and the senators who denied additional funding to FEMA. None of these individuals are Democrats. They are all Republicans who denied money to FEMA to help you, American citizens. All of them, Republican. And I want you to understand how insidious this is. They denied funding to FEMA and then decided to go on vacation in the middle of hurricane season. Joe Biden wants to call Congress back into session for an emergency so that they can provide funding to FEMA so FEMA can help you, American taxpayers. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, a Republican MAGA, a contributor to Project 2025, said no. There was adequate funding provided to FEMA. That is a lie. FEMA has been grossly underfunded and has been desperate and begging for more money because of all of these storms that we have been having. For the love of God, please learn the different branches of government and what they are responsible for. President Biden and Kamala Harris are not in control of the purse strings. Congress is in control of the purse strings. And it is by design that they are holding funding at this point to the American citizens by way of FEMA. It is so they can blame President Biden and Kamala Harris for election reasons. It's a mind game. It's a game of manipulation. And all of you that are jumping onto your camera phones to record videos blaming Biden and Harris are playing into the games. There are 435 seats up for re-election in the House. There are, I forget how many in the Senate. Elections have consequences. If you are sick and tired of these MAGA politicians playing with your life, your livelihood, your happiness here in the United States of America, for the love of God, educate yourself and vote their asses out of office. Until we get to November 5th, hold their asses accountable. When you see Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert and Jim Jordan and Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott and Paul Gosar and Ted Cruz, when you see them all out there blaming Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for there not being any funding for those devastated by Hurricane Helene, ask them, why didn't they approve funding for FEMA? Ask them that. Hold them accountable. For the love of God, stop using your camera phones to show your ignorance of how our government works.